Cardano bulls. Wow, I just screwed up the intro live. I screwed up the intro live, everybody. Hit the like button for me. I'm so down right now. Cardano bulls breaking 170 very, very briefly. Everybody, the question I have in my mind, I'm going to go over in this video, is it going to keep going? What is up, everyone? Welcome to Crypto Capital Venture. Hit the subscribe and like on the way in. I mean, I'm on an hourly chart. This is what I'm talking about. I just love when we have these crypto charts play out. This is what it looks like on the hourly. Of course, I go live and price will start consolidating a little bit. Happens, I would say, 95% of the time. I can't catch parabolic runs live on YouTube. It doesn't happen. It's like, if you ever see that happening, I don't even know. Record it. But let's talk about this move to $1.70 because this is huge. And I do think Cardano can keep going right now. So I want to start though. This is like really important. I want to start back here, a clip from July 21st. Check it. And we have another resistance area. So we're just tracking all of these on the screen. This is the most important, newest one, I would say. And we can see resistance, $1.31 to $1.39. We have a ways to go before even getting there. So this was July 21st, everybody, the end of July. And we're talking at $1.17. We're talking about a huge area that we patiently tracked for Cardano. And if we look at the chart, this is what it looks like on the hourly. This is a crazy journey, right? Higher highs and higher lows. It's what we like to see. And if we zoom in now on this hourly chart, this 786 line gave us much trouble that we just broke above August 6th, 4 days ago, getting some separation and testing the 786, which is what we always talk about. The reason I show that clip is because when you look back and we're talking July 21st and we're talking about technical analysis, because this is technical analysis channel, a lot of it anyway. And when we're looking at all of this stuff, what is the one common theme? And I say that because it's true for myself too. The common theme is patience, everybody. It takes patience. Targets, resistance, bullish confirmations, all of this stuff that I talk about all the time. I know in the moment it sounds like, oh, we should be getting that tonight. Dan just did a video. But this stuff takes time. And this is what it looks like on an hourly chart. Grueling, to say the least. Playing with our emotions on the very short term. Just look at the up, the down, the up, down, the up, and then the back down. Like the patience involved is probably foundational to success in crypto. And it really is. It's all mental. So here's where we are. We started talking about the inverse head and shoulders on this hourly chart last night. And we talked about getting that neckline break to the upside, and we've gotten it. And now we have hit, because when I did the live stream earlier, we hadn't hit the target. We've just basically perfectly hit the target. It's happening right now. So it's not my live stream. It's not why we're seeing resistance because I'm starting a live stream. It's likely, because we see it all the time, we're hitting a target for Cardano and we're seeing resistance. It's slowing down on the hourly. So what I always watch for in these environments is sideways trading at the very least, if not a pretty dramatic, throwback. So falling back into the $50s, it would be normal. It's something I anticipate. We knew about the target to the upside out of the inverse head and shoulders neckline at around $1.67, $1.68. We got it. More importantly, what it's doing for us is getting us separation from just key areas on the chart. And to answer the question of can Cardano keep going, I want to talk about this setup that I talked about before, which was an inverse head and shoulders, a very ugly one to say the least, but it extended back to mid-June with a left shoulder. We have 6-hour close right here. We have, pull back to the neckline. Then we have a head with a close below on the 6-hour, the left shoulder. Came back to neckline area, confluent resistance. That's that 786 resistance that we were just talking about on the hourly that really required patience right here. This 786 around $1.39. So all of that happening, and we have Cardano putting in a very, very ugly right shoulder, but a right shoulder to say the least, which is That's a pretty big, hold on, I got to stop there. I didn't realize this. Is this true? Can we confirm in the comments? Charles just put out update video, smart contracts release date to be announced Friday. So because I didn't know when the update even was. I really didn't even know. I know Charles last week said they're gonna be putting out the date, but is Friday is that when it's definitely happening? Cut the live stream short. So anyway, that's pretty good. So Friday smart contracts release date, everybody. You kidding me? That's big stuff. That's big stuff. Years in the making. We're talking about happening weeks away, a date being given to markets and essentially not just to us, but a date being given to markets. And the long-term effect is what we're watching on these charts. But back to the zoomed in 6-hour chart right now, we have this ugly right shoulder of the inverse head and shoulders that I was talking about. It's a story, everybody. That's all head and shoulders are. Regular head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders, it's a story. It's left shoulder, bears failing to bring Cardano down to certain levels, getting pulled back to a neckline. It's the head, bears succeeding a little bit more. That's why you have a lower high in the head. Bulls stepping in to the neckline, right? Well, I should say bulls stepping into the neckline, and then boom, bears trying again in this right shoulder in this structure that formed into the ascending triangle. It's a very ugly right shoulder, but it's a right shoulder nonetheless because the story is playing out. And that is the bears trying to bring Cardano down and failing. The bulls stepping in with higher highs and higher lows across the board from really July 26th to August 5th, August 6th before the breakout. So that inverse head and shoulders has a target to around $1.80. So is there room for upside from where we are? There are more targets, and that's a more midterm target to the upside. Expect volatility along the way. We've seen volatility along the way to every target, but it is true. It doesn't always happen immediately, everybody. Cardano is almost always hitting targets we discuss. There are a lot of naysayers in the comments, and I wanted to kind of make that foundational to the beginning of the video, just to break down how technicals work and how it requires some patience. Because if you have the patience, I'm telling you, if you have the patience on the short term, you're going to succeed even stronger on the long term because you have clarity of mind and you're not just fumbling around out there. So that's Cardano on the 6-hour, $1.80 target, inverse head and shoulders. We've hit, I mean, in the last, 24 hours, 12 hours, we've hit 2 targets. The ascending triangle target, breakout here to right around $1.60. And most recently, we just hit the $1.67, $1.68 target out of the inverse head and shoulders that we tracked. And now our next target on the midterm, what we just looked at, the inverse head and shoulders, $1.80. Don't expect that that's like going to happen tonight, although we'd enjoy that. But that's the next target. Will there be dramatic volatility along the way? Maybe. Be prepared for it. Everybody, going over here. This is the chart of charts because we've been tracking it. Like we've literally been tracking this. So this is just another scenario. And I want to take a quick clip because you know me, everybody. I love revisiting these clips. Here's that on the daily chart. Here's what that weekly explosion looked like back in November, the beginning of the bull market, getting separation from this very key Fibonacci, a very similar Fibonacci we're tracking now. Cardano right now, we're waiting for an explosive move. It's one of those things. It can surprise us. If Cardano just, we're waiting for the explosive move out of a really key Fibonacci area that if you've been watching the videos, you know all about it. It's on the daily. This is what it looks like. And I just did the video. That was from yesterday, right? I think that was from yesterday. And we were waiting for the explosive move. And there it is. That's on the daily. Now, what we were doing, we were taking historical data from a very, very similar chart, or I should say very, very similar area on the chart. So I'm just going to scroll back all the way on the daily. I mean, you see the gains. I'm flying by all the ADA gains that we've been through over the last year. And this is the chart on the daily, the explosive move after Cardano gets the 20-day moving average cross above the 50 and it came back down briefly and then get the 20-day moving average cross above the 50. Here's the 786 resistance. We were looking for this move because it's illustrated here on the daily, but it's also illustrated here on the weekly chart. We've just been nonstop tracking the data historically leading into the beginning of the bear market or bull market in November. It's this weekly candle we're looking to repeat. We're seeing if Cardano is going to kind of repeat history in that regard. And so far, it's playing out nicely. But you have to be very careful in saying those things and not getting too greedy, not getting too sure of yourself, and not getting overly confident. We have to be very patient. This is crypto, but it's playing out extremely nicely. We've identified, weeks ago, the similarities of this consolidation at the 20-week moving average, this green line. We've identified the similarities here. We're looking for that upside scenario where Cardano on the RSI repeats itself as well. And this is the momentum oscillator in the middle of the screen. You can see right here, we're looking for an explosive move out of this RSI in the middle of the screen into really overbought. If you want that bull market high, if you want that bull market continuation, if you want the $5 Cardano, if you want the $100,000 Bitcoin, this RSI will be an overbought area, and it's going to break this upper trend line of this downward momentum that Cardano has been in on the RSI since end of February, actually. So other thing we're going to also keep an eye on in the meantime is the MACD. We're waiting for a potential MACD cross. Again, some ways to go. I mentioned this in last night's video. There definitely is ways to go. We're not there yet at all. Can have some consolidation. We could have a rough week along the way. It's not something that might happen immediately, but Cardano very much on its way. I think Bitcoin just basically had its MACD cross, I believe. I have to go find out. I can't say that without checking. So Bitcoin, nope, that's not the Bitcoin chart. See, Bitcoin didn't get the MACD cross. So Bitcoin closer to getting the MACD cross. Histogram almost at 0. So Bitcoin leading the way in that regard. And we want to see Bitcoin continue to succeed in that momentum, because if Bitcoin gets that MACD cross, it really is a leading indicator for Cardano and what potentially might take place on the Cardano charts. A little bit of a more separation from the MACD and the signal line for Cardano versus Bitcoin. Now, speaking of Bitcoin, everybody, A to BTC pair, what is up? This is it. We've been tracking this, and this is my nice consolidation pattern that I have really extending since May on the 6 hour. This is a 6 hour visualization. Cardano just tending to be weak since really this swing high in July with this downtrend all the way outside of the lower trend line that I have charted here. And what we're talking about and what we've been tracking on the symmetrical triangle, the A to BTC pair, is we're tracking pullbacks to that trend line. Happens so often. It happened this time. From this pullback and rejection, which we didn't want to see, and we've been talking about this the last couple of videos, from that rejection, Cardano bouncing off of this very key area, and what we've been waiting for now is Cardano to re-enter the triangle. Now, what a surprise, Cardano right now in the A to BTC pair, right at this lower trend line. And I got to say this, everybody. I really have to say this. I get comments all the time, especially when I start talking about A to BTC or anything really, when I'm doing Cardano content, whatever, any altcoin content. People say to me and comment to me all the time, Dan, why do you waste your time? It just only matters what Bitcoin is doing. The A to BTC chart doesn't matter. None of this matters. But what baffles my mind and really is actually so cool to me is the technicals. And these are rules that we follow in terms of technicals, meaning we're talking about lower trend line break and then a pullback to the trend line and then seeing resistance. Even in traditional markets, this is common, right? We talk about that all the time. What's crazy is it happens all the time. Not only once, we get the support off of my second lead. I mean, this is my favorite tool to use, a Fibonacci. Is it a coincidence that we keep seeing support at Fibonacci, higher lows at Fibonacci, or lower high resistance at Fibonacci? It's not a coincidence. It works. Doesn't matter what pair you're on. And right now, again, this is a 6 hour, so we have 2 hours left on this 6 hour candle. Going to be interesting to see where this closes and where the next one opens and goes to. Could it be back into the triangle, or are we going to get just resistance and come back down, test another higher low Fibonacci support? This is a story we have to continue monitoring and watching. Right now, maybe we're getting some structure and some consolidation that's going to take a little bit of time before we get a true breakthrough, a true answer. Maybe not till end of August. Maybe we're trading and consolidating down here. I'm like you might be sitting there thinking, dude, I would love if Cardano would actually just, break up into the triangle, maybe get some overextension from the lower trend line. That's what we want to see. That's what I would like to see. Right now, from this swing low, Cardano is up on the A to BTC 15%. For Cardano to test the upper trend line, we're looking at a total of 35, 36%. So another 20% to the upside before Cardano's testing a breakout, a bullish breakout area on the A to BTC pair. This could happen. This could happen very realistically in the short term because there's a lot going on in Cardano. Cardano, in my opinion, as bullish as I've been, many people call me a shill, whatever. As bullish as I've been on Cardano, in my opinion, as much as we talk about it, is the most undervalued, is the most under talked about, considering I think what its potential value is. That's just my opinion. And you know me, I've been tracking Cardano for a while, tracking the stages that we have here on the weekly, the hard forks, how that relates to price, how it relates to upward momentum. We've been tracking the value of Cardano against things like Ethereum, Bitcoin. When we're looking at something like Ethereum, for instance, a $500 billion market cap Cardano, which is something Ethereum's already achieved, we're talking about a $15 Cardano. That's more in the realm of, hey, Cardano is more on an even playing field. Right now, it's considered across crypto this underdog, this thing that doesn't work, this broken chain, this vaporware, ghost chain, whatever you want to call it. And what's so funny to me is how everything that is said bad about Cardano is true. And so I've been really, really enjoying covering Cardano content, growing within the ecosystem. Now we have these ridiculously cool projects growing on Cardano. And the ecosystem is just getting started. It's such a big and vast ecosystem that is getting ready to kind of introduce itself to crypto markets. And here we are at $1.67, right? So the upward potential is there. Not trying to overpump, overhype. We are up right now, right? We just looked at a video from July 21st where we're covering Cardano at $1.17. Everybody's talking about 50 cents. So I got to celebrate a little bit with kind of having some bullish feel, some bullish tone. Because listen, if you're an investor in Cardano right now, you're hyped that Cardano's at the very least back above $1.50. Just touch $1.70, but still a ways to go. A really important area on this chart I should mention, and I guess I'll go to the weekly, is this. If we look at this weekly chart, this is, in the grand scheme of things, an incredibly important area that I actually haven't talked enough about. And that's a swing high, the all-time high, to that next week swing low, that capitulation. Look at that weekly candle. Wow. This is a really important area. Cardano not even there yet. We're looking at the 618, $1.92 to the 786, $2.20. That's a starting point, and we're not even there yet. To give you an idea, Cardano is right around 15% from the 618 resistance, 30% or so from the 786 at $2.17. We're not there yet, and that's the biggest of all big resistances since the all-time high that we had in May. This is the great flippening, I would call it, of bearish mindset. I think even now the true bears that are out there and they're just like, this is a fake out, this is a bounce, crypto's going down further, they won't be convinced until this is broken. This is really important, and it really is an important area for Cardano, and Bitcoin has a very similar area that we have to track too in Bitcoin content. But this area of resistance is there, and it's the starting point. It's the starting point of the second half of this bull market if we get it, which I think we will. But it's the starting point, the launch pad. We're talking $2.20, 786 resistance, where we just were in May. We're talking about that as a starting point, as a launch pad. I mean, yeah, that is what we're talking about. That is what I'm talking about. I don't know. Take it or leave it. So that's it, everybody. I want to do an update. I didn't really want to make this too long of a video. Appreciate all of you coming by. Dude, look at that. 3,300. We got 3,300 people. We're talking about Cardano bulls mostly, I bet you out there enjoying the gains. If you're out there enjoying the gains, smash that like button for me. I really appreciate it. We're going to start seeing these headlines, everybody. Cardano Alonzo hard fork is imminent, and it could fuel ADA run to $5. What's really cool about that is, yeah, that's 100%. I mean, $5 is such a throwaway, a short throwaway, in my opinion. What's cool about it is, and I think many of you can relate, is when you're zoomed out on this chart, you're thinking longer, right? You're thinking long term. You're thinking bigger than $5. I know a lot of you are. I mean, I see people out there, they're just like, I ain't taking any profit until $20. And that's what's cool about these articles. $5 seems like a lot, but I think to a lot of us, to you, to me, it's actually the starting point. Once again, the starting point. And there is so much upside. $1 trillion market cap one day. Yeah, it's 100% in play for Cardano. It just is. I'm not saying in the short term, everybody, but $31 Cardano, 100% in play. Not to mention the opportunities found in brand new projects in the ecosystem, the opportunity to contribute to the consensus mechanism and earn rewards every 5 days passively through Cardano staking. Are you kidding me? And here's the kicker. Your ADA sits in your wallet and you can move. It's not locked in. You can move it. You don't have to lock in to get those rewards. It's just crazy. I'm really excited about it, if you can't tell. So that's it, everybody. That is it. Those are my thoughts. Hit the subscribe if you're not a subscriber, because you know we have some fun over here at Crypto Capital Venture. We're working on some really cool things. If you're a Cardano holder, if you're long on Cardano, we're working on some really cool things in terms of just working with other projects, talking about other projects because they're there. And what that translates to is truly growth within the Cardano ecosystem, growth of innovation, growth of freedom, growth of decentralization. But it also translates to opportunity. And that's really something I like to present to all of you, is opportunity within the space. It comes with risk, of course. This is crypto. But there's a lot of opportunity out there, everybody. It's very exciting. So those are my thoughts. Have an awesome day. I really, truly do appreciate each and every one of you. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.